Hey everybody, it's the Nitty Professor, and today we're going to look at what boots I should be wearing now that it's mud season. So mud is the consequence of having snow that melts while the ground is still kind of frozen, and on the surface it turns into mud. So we have a gravel driveway. Mud's a big issue. Today I was wearing my Wolverine 1000 Miles in the Pullman leather, and we can see the consequences of, sorry for the dogs are having a little bit too much fun out there, but the reason I picked these today is because they have a sole that's easy to wipe off. So we have some mats out by the back door, and then we come inside and we wipe our boots on, or my case of my son, his Nikes, on a towel. And so we have a few old towels that just sort of take it on the chin, you know. And after I talk about which boots I think would be the best ones for me to pick from my collection to wear in the mud, I'm going to address the issue of how to maintain my boots when they are subjected to this maltreatment, and feel free to offer advice because I always like good advice. So, as you know, I've been wearing these Truman Dark Coyote rough outs just a ton this past week. The highs were -7 Fahrenheit. Today, the high was pushing 60. So it's like being on a boomerang, or, you know, or what do you call a bungee cord? It was just, you know, a crazy difference. And we're supposed to have weather in the 50s all week long, which I am not opposed to. But I don't know. I like these soles for muddy conditions, but I'm not sure I'm really fond of wearing rough out when it's muddy, because I think it's harder to clean. The reason I picked these boots was I was like, they're smooth. This Pullman leather is going to be easy to just brush off. Whereas, you know, something like this, it's going to be a lot of work to try to get the encrusted mud off. I mean, even in the back, I don't know if you can tell, but I had these on yesterday when it was already getting kind of melty. Trying to get some light on it here. There we go. And there, you know, you can tell there's some gray dirt and stuff. I mean, it's not like a tragedy, right? I can still brush these really thoroughly and get a lot of that out, but it's just more work. So I'm gonna say no on wearing my rough out Truman Coyotes, Dark Coyotes in the mud. I think it would just be a little bit more work than what I want to put in. And then I have these blacksmiths, which I recently conditioned. Well, let's say that I conditioned them before the last couple of wears. So I think it's safe to say that they're looking pretty good right now, considering all the heck that they've been put through. And I wouldn't hesitate to wear these in the mud, except for these soles are going to just, it's going to cling to those lugs. And I'm not going to be able to just rub those babies off on a towel like I can these. So, you know, I rub these off on a towel and I just walk right in the house. Is our house sanitary? No, but it doesn't have clumps of mud on the rug. So I'm probably not going to wear my blacksmiths. I'll wait till we have grass. When we have grass, I'll be wearing the crap out of the blacksmiths like I always do, because I use them to mow the lawn. They work pretty good for that. So what other options do we have? Well, here's an option. We all know now, based on a previous video, that I have quite the love-hate relationship with my Ellen Edmonds. And because I have a love-hate relationship with my Ellen Edmonds, I probably would not hesitate to subject them to getting a little mud, because I'm not like what the Germans would call pingelig. My level of caring for them is kind of minimal. So they're fine, but they're not like special. And this material on these lug soles, even though they might track in some mud, stuff shakes off of this material. So one of the things I really like, again, that's the love side, right, that I really like about these soles is they're a kind of a softer rubber, but somehow smooth and soft. It's like really weird. I feel like the mud would shake off of these. Also, the lugs are like, they are a tiny bit rounded somehow, you know, so the mud just, it doesn't quite cling to these the way it's going to cling to those blacksmiths. So apparently rocks cling to them. In fact, that might be, actually, that's rock salt. So, I probably would wear these in mud. It wouldn't be my first choice, however. So that leads to the question of what would be. Well, let's check out some other options. I've pulled out a few here. One of you the other day said, shows your whole collection. And I might do that. It probably would be kind of like a quick run through, you know. It would take me a while to unbox them all and set them out, and then, but it would be kind of fun. It might be kind of I could, I don't know, have a little wine or something while I'm doing it. So, these are in the wrong box. This says whites on here. These aren't whites. These are a pair of boxless Red Wings that I'm going to show you. I haven't opened these boots up in quite a while. I haven't worn these boots in quite a while, so that's my fault. I gotta figure out how to open this box. I know there's a way to open it. This box is from my son's Division Road shoes that he got over Christmas. And I just kind of stole it because the box I was using for these Red Wings wasn't adequate. So you would think, based on having these shoes in these bags, you know, I'm just like, oh, gotta take care of these incredible shoes. However, these are a pair of Red Wing Merchants in the ebony harness leather, and I think they would actually be a very good choice to wear in this muddy weather. Now, I don't wear them as much as I wear some other boots. The way that the front of these boots is constructed, it kind of bothers my ankle a little bit here up front, but you know, it's probably a question of, like, I've worn them a fair amount and they're broken in, right? They could be more broken in, and they could specifically in this area be more broken in. But of my two pairs of Merchants, these are the more comfortable. And the soles, I think, well, we can they've been in the mud, right? So I think the grass is kind of clinging on there, and to be frank, there's probably a little bit of dog poop mixed in. So that's another thing. We have 4 dogs, right? So but as we can see, they've already been worn in the mud, and I think it would be fairly easy to clean these boots off. They have a nice smooth texture to them. If I, you know, well, again, I'm going to discuss my for what it is, cleanup routine of boots after I've worn them out in the mud, but the mud comes off of these pretty easy. So, you know, and that's what they're for, right? It's a tough leather. It's supposed to hold up to whatever you sick on it, right? So I think those Merchants would be a good option. To be honest, I don't wear them as much as I should, and maybe now is my chance to make up for some lost time on those boots. Not that I didn't get them for a slightly bargain price, because I bought them at the I don't know if you want to call it the seconds area, but you know, the downstairs of the Red Wing store, where they have the you know, the ones that are kind of like leftover from previous seasons or didn't sell for whatever reason, or they could be seconds. So I didn't pay full price for them. Here's another pair of boots that I have worn in the mud, and I will wear in the mud, and they have had to undergo some pretty intense cleaning. And you can still see traces, like in these creases here, of previous dirt. You know, where I live, we're just not going to get away from having dirt. The only way you can avoid getting dirt on your boots is by wearing them in the snow. And that brings its own conditions with it that could be an issue with heritage boots. So these have been subjected to some fun kind of hardships. But I love these in the mud because of the leather sole. It's so easy to wipe this off because it's basically flat, and it's just really easy to wipe off, and I have no compunction about hosing down this sole. It's just a snap. There's no tread, and I've worn them enough to where even on the heel there's almost no tread. So very useful when it comes to muddy conditions. I do love leather-soled boots for the kinds of conditions that we're dealing with now. And yeah, this leather is also taken out on the chin. You can tell that I've gotten a lot of use out of it. This is the olive tanned yellow leather. These are my Wolverine 1,000 miles in the standard style, the traditional style. So these are probably going to get some use here coming up in the next couple of days. They've already been conditioned twice. I've had them for a couple years, and they're kind of fun to condition. Then we've got one last selection, and when I was looking through my boots and I was asking myself, which can I be wearing here in this next week with this melting snow, mud, gravel, dog poop situation that we have? And believe it or not, I decided a good candidate would be my Viola horse rumps from Truman. It's my one of my most expensive pairs of boots, and this is a situation where you get what you pay for. It's one of my favorite pairs. I haven't worn them a while, which, to be honest, I'm asking myself why as I talk, because I think I don't know, I just kind of, when I got these Dark Coyote Roughouts broken in, I was like, darn, these are wonderful for the winter, you know. They're waterproof. Well, of course, lately now, the waterproofness has kind of been wearing off, so I'm probably going to subject them to the same mink oil treatment that I did the black oil tanned Roughout boots, because it worked very well. And now we know, I was talking to my son about this earlier, that conditioning Roughout leather the same as you would condition any other kind of leather actually makes sense. And according to the White's website, that's what I should be doing. So this, however, horse rump leather is a little bit different can of worms, but I think I could easily get mud on these and clean it off. And the soles are the V-bar. They're not going to pick up a whole lot of mud and, you know, just drag it all over the place. They're not lugged. They're worn down. You can see how much I've worn these down because, well, I wore them on my trip to Copenhagen, all over heck and gone. Walked for like 80 miles, I think, over that week. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm asking myself what's going to be my first choice over the next few, couple weeks probably. And, to be honest, once rain comes, then we're going to have more mud. And so I'm going to be wearing boots in the mud for a good while till the ground thaws all the way, which could be, 6 weeks. Just takes a while. Especially after you have temperatures where the high is -7, right? For a whole week or 10 days. It was quite strenuous, and I'm hoping we don't have to go back to that again for another year. So anyhow, I've got a situation, right? What I tend to do, for better or worse, and again, welcome your feedback. So I tend to let the dirt dry, and then I give these a good brushing. I have a couple of brushes sitting by my kitchen sink that I use on a regular basis because this happens a lot, right? I live in South Dakota. I don't want a paved driveway. I don't want to put any more pavement on the earth. It's already hard enough for the rain to get down and for us to replenish the aquifer. So the mud is just something that I've lived with for 20 years here, and I'm going to continue to live with it. So we've got these brushes. They're just sitting out there waiting for me to use them. I'll brush off all the dirt and dust, and if I feel the need, because maybe some poop got on them, right, I can then get a washcloth and make it damp and use that terry cloth surface then to apply a little elbow grease and get the rest of the dirt off. A lot of times I'll even run a hose. I have one of those farm type sinks, it's really big and it has the hose with the spray. You can turn it on and off, and I'll just run that over the soles. I should have run that over the soles of those merchant boots before they got encrusted like that. But there you go. This is real life, right? My heritage boots aren't here just to look pretty. I like that they look pretty, but they're here to have the heck worn out of them. So that's what we do. And yeah, I'll probably run the hose over these soles. You can tell, yeah, they're going to need it. They've got some grit, some sand, and I don't want to track any more of that in the house than I already have. So that's what I do. And then when it comes time, these were recently conditioned, so they're actually, the leather is in pretty good shape right now. But when, between the elements, the dust, the dirt, the mud, the water, the brushing, etc., they are thirsty, then I'm going to give them a good conditioning. So that's kind of how I handle this situation. It's just, again, something that we go through because of where we live. And my boots are for life. They're not for looking at. If anybody looks at them down the road after I'm long gone, I hope that they'll see their signs that they were not only cherished, but also worn, well appreciated for the work that they're supposed to do and for their enabling of the work that I like to do. So that's what I have for today. I hope you all have a great work week, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon about some other cool boot topic. If you have any suggestions besides show me your collection, let me know, because I'm always game to learn new things and show you, I have a pretty decent collection, so if there's something you want to see that you haven't seen yet, just feel free to let me know, and I'll run with it. So y'all take care, thank you, and we'll talk soon. Bye.